They don't want this on record, so we put it on air. The redacted report starts now.
Greetings, sirs and hers. Welcome back to the Redacted Report. I know it's been a minute, but I just had to make a video and jump in on this debate because this is going to get pretty juicy. As all Steeler fans know, yesterday we signed Nick Herbig to a huge 4-year, $100 million contract, which is going to keep him in Pittsburgh, at least till he's about, 28 years old. So that's a good thing. We needed to sign him. They were both, him and Joey Porter Jr. were quote-unquote holding in on minicamp, trying to get new contracts. So Herbig got one. I'm actually surprised about that. I figured the first guy to get a big contract would be Joey Porter Jr., and maybe Nick Herbig would have been the odd man out, maybe even traded. I thought that might have been a possibility, but I figured if anyone was getting traded in this trio, it was going to be Alex Highsmith. And that was even before this contract. Now, after this contract was signed, I think it's pretty much a certainty that Alex Highsmith will be traded sooner rather than later. As that today, the day after that Herbig signed that deal, he was not at practice in mandatory minicamp. Now, the team said it was for an illness. I call BS on that. I think they're going to try to work out a trade for him because I guarantee you there have been teams calling about him. And of the three, it's hard to pay 3 edge rushers that kind of money. Now, feasibly they could because they're not locked into a long-term deal for a quarterback. See, that's huge. But that's still a lot of money to pay guys for more than 1 year. If Highsmith had 1 year left on his contract, then yeah, he would play it out, and then they would just let him go in free agency, and he would fetch some kind of a compensatory pick. But he's got 2 years left on his contract, which could be good for us because it makes him a more valuable trade piece because a team would be willing to give up more for a 28-year-old edge rusher with a track record of making plays on a deal with 2 years left on a deal that by today's standards in the market, a pretty team-friendly deal. I mean, his base salary for the next 2 years is $14 million and $15 million and change. And with the prorated signing bonus and such, his cap number's around $21 million for each year. $20 million this year, 21 next year, something like that. I don't know the exact numbers, but that's not bad. It's a great deal of money, but it's a pretty team-friendly contract. So he's a more attractive trade piece because obviously Herbig's not going anywhere, duh. And TJ Watt, I'm sorry, he has absolutely no trade value right now. I could be wrong, and hell, we may trade TJ Watt, and someone might give us a haul. Like there's people on social media that think we can get a haul even close to what the Browns got for Myles Garrett, and there's no way in hell that's happening. Myles Garrett's a year younger and coming off the best year of his career, while TJ Watt's coming off his worst season since his rookie year. Yeah, I know he missed 3 games because of that micro needling thing with the punctured lung and everything, so bad luck, but still. We're not going to get anything close. If we trade TJ Watt, we're not getting anything close to what Garrett fetched for the Browns. That's not happening. I love me some TJ Watt, but no, there's no way in hell that's happening. I mean, I said last year they need to trade TJ Watt rather than give him a huge deal, but they opted to give him the deal, and now they're kind of paying for it. Myself and a lot of fans said that the Steelers are going to regret this deal sooner rather than later, and sooner is now here. So, TJ Watt, I think, is untradeable. No one's going to give us anything close to what we would want to trade the face of our franchise. So that's not happening. I mean, I could be wrong. There may be some team dumb enough out there to throw a first-round pick out there for TJ Watt. But honestly, if they try to trade TJ Watt with that contract, Pittsburgh would be lucky to get a 4th rounder. They may get a 3rd rounder if they add maybe a 4th rounder to the deal. But that's about it they get for TJ. I'm sorry. You may think I'm nuts, but that's what I believe, and I think that's the case. But Highsmith, I said take Highsmith at his age and his track record. Now he's had some injuries the last couple of years, some leg injuries and things. Could be nothing, could be something, but that is a lot of things that teams will take into account when they're making a trade. But I still think you could get a fairly decent haul of draft picks for Alex Highsmith. And next year is going to be a big year for quarterbacks, so we need all the draft capital we can get. So I think that it would be a multi-person pick. I don't think there'd be any players involved with it, but I do think that if we could trade Alex Highsmith and get, I guarantee we can get a third. We might be able to even get a second. That could be conditional to become a first if certain criteria are met. But I think it's possible if we get a second, we might have to throw in a fourth or a fifth round pick on our end to make that happen. But I do think we can fetch a third round pick, among other things. We could probably get a third. I'd say for Alex Highsmith, we could probably get a third and maybe a third and a fifth next year, and maybe even a fourth in 2028. Maybe. But I do think we can get a decent third round pick out of him right now. But it's and like I said, we could put that towards some more move next year to get a quarterback, as long as we don't trade for JJ McCarthy, which part of me thinks that's going to happen. If you imagine our quarterback room next year being Drew Aller, Will Howard, and JJ McCarthy, I mean, at least JJ McCarthy would make Drew Aller look like Peyton Manning. That's another story. Another video for another time. But yeah, basically, unfortunately, I think Alex Highsmith is gone. And I love Alex Highsmith. I think he's great. The day we drafted him, I said, holy shit, we just drafted Chad Brown 2.0. And any Steeler fan who knows Chad Brown, old school like me, knows how great of a player Chad Brown was and how amazing he would have been if he'd stayed with us after the 96 season. But that was a time where Pittsburgh didn't pay players. They just let them go and the next man up. Luckily for us, the next man up was Jason Gilden, who ended up being one of the most underrated players in Steeler history. But yeah, and this guy's proven to be he's a good pass rusher. He's a disruptor. He's good against the run. He is very, very good. So it'll be a shame to see him go. But if you're going to have to get rid of someone, you can't get rid of Watt. You're not trading Herbig. Unfortunately, my man Alex Highsmith is the odd man out. But I could be wrong. Who knows? But that's just what I think. But I want you all to let me know what you think in the comments. Am I right? Am I wrong? Give me some trade scenarios that you think would work for both Highsmith and Watt. I just want to see what you all have to say. Who knows? Maybe you can come up with something insane, and maybe that could work. Who knows? I just want to see it. Let's just open it up for debate. But I thank you all for watching me. Welcome back. And remember, in the comment section, please argue responsibly.